Here I have the new 2024 Hyundai Sonata. It's actually a pretty good car, and it definitely looks pretty unique compared to other cars on the road. I've been driving the Sonata around for the past week, and I'm going to tell you 5 things that I love and 5 things that I hate about this car. So first, let's talk about the 5 things that I love. So we'll start with the exterior design. Hyundai and Kia have been doing a great job with the exterior design of their cars lately. The Sonata has a modern and sleek design. I love the light bar in the front, and the rear taillights are really distinctive at night. It's a lot more interesting than the new Accord or Camry. Next is the safety features, driving aids, and optional tech that you can get with this car. Hyundai packs a lot of safety features into all their cars, and the Sonata has some excellent self-driving capabilities. The lane centering works very well, and you don't even need to have cruise control enabled. The car can steer for you while you control the gas and brake. It does a great job on the highway and works really well on local roads as well. The car is not too needy in terms of asking you to touch the steering wheel either, which is nice. I can go a whole minute and a half without the car asking me to touch the steering wheel. The Accord and Camry ask me to touch or wiggle the steering wheel every like 10 to 15 seconds. On the higher trims, you can get some awesome features like the blind spot cameras that show you your blind spot in the gauge cluster. So whenever you hit the left turn signal, you'll get a camera feed here showing your blind spot. And when you put the right turn signal, you get a camera feed over here showing your right blind spot. You also can get the remote parking assist, which allows you to use the key to move the car from outside when getting in and out of tough parking spots. Next is warranty. Hyundai and Kia have the best warranties out there. The basic warranty is 5 years or 60,000 miles, while the industry standard is 3 years or 36,000 miles. The powertrain is an impressive 10 years or 100,000 miles, while the industry standard is 5 years or 60,000 miles. So it's nice to know that if something goes wrong, you'll be covered for the next few years. Fourth is value. Hyundais and Kias in general offer a lot for the money. They aren't as cheap as they used to be compared to competitors, but you still get a lot for even the base models. You got a lot of standard features that are extras in other cars, like an 8-way power driver's seat, heated seats, dual climate controls, heated side mirrors, along with its host of safety features and driver aids. Lastly, we have drivetrain options and fuel economy. You have 3 powertrain options for this car. You can get the basic 2.5 liter 4-cylinder with 191 horsepower and 181 pound-feet of torque. This will do 25 city, 36 highway, 29 combined for the front-wheel drive model, and 25 city, 34 highway, 28 combined for the all-wheel drive model. You can then bump up to the 2.5 liter turbo 4 with an impressive 290 horsepower and 311 pound-feet of torque and a dual clutch transmission. You can't get close to these numbers in the new Accord or Camry. This still has good fuel economy. It gets 23 city, 32 highway, and 27 combined. And then for the fuel conscious people out there are the hybrid trims. These come with a 2-liter 4-cylinder with a mild hybrid system, so no plugging in to charge it. These trims have a combined 192 horsepower and 151 pound-feet of torque. You'll get excellent fuel mileage with these. They get 44 city, 51 highway, and 47 combined. So there you have it, the 5 things that I love about this car. Anyone here have a new Sonata? What are your thoughts on it? Leave a comment below, and if you like the video so far, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more. Now, onto the 5 things that I hate. So first is the gauge cluster. You can upgrade to a better one in the higher trims, so I don't want to hate on it too much. But for the base model, it's really simple and it doesn't really show all that much. The only interesting thing that it does is you can change the colors when you switch drive modes. So if I go to sport, everything turns red. If I go back to normal, you get blue on the left, yellow on the right. As I've mentioned in other videos, it's a screen. Asking it to display more or be more configurable isn't asking for all that much. It's just software. Next is the handling. It's not that it's bad, it's just boring. The car drives okay, but even in its sportiest setting, it feels very floaty. I drove this car on some pretty windy roads, and it left me extremely unimpressed. This is not the car to get if you want to have fun on curvy roads, at least the non-N-line trims. The N-line trim is better, but it has a pretty stiff ride. The Accord Hybrid Sport I drove a while ago wasn't especially sporty in terms of speed, but it handled extremely well. And even the Toyota Camry handles decently well. Third, the interior is a mixed bag of quality. You can get better interiors with higher trims, so this is more of a complaint for the base model. And the interior doesn't necessarily look bad. I actually like the way it looks in here, but there is a lot of cheaper plastics. For example, the dials here on the steering wheel and these silver switches, they're pretty nice, But then you have a lot of like plastic. Even these silver ones are pretty good, and the dials. Then you got cheap plastic here, cheap plastic on the steering wheel. The steering wheel itself feels pretty cheap as well. And it's interesting to see that they're using this as the logo instead of the Hyundai logo. This reminds me a lot of the Pixel design that they use for the Ioniq series cars. The cloth seats definitely don't do it for me either. And don't go with white, because it stains extremely easily. The leather on the door panel and center console is not too bad though. Next, we got to talk about long-term reliability. Kia and Hyundai have definitely come a long way in the last 20 years, but they still tend to have more issues than other brands. I've heard mixed stories of people who own these cars. I had a few friends with newer Sonatas and Elantras from 2019 all the way up to 2022 who needed a new transmission replacement after just a few years and less than 20,000 miles. Everything was covered, but that definitely should not be happening. This is the first year of the new Sonata generation, so there's always some risk with the first model year. I think the 2025s would be a better choice. I wouldn't worry too much during the actual warranty period, but once the car is out of warranty, that's where it can get a little dicey. But like most cars in general, if you do proper maintenance, I think you'll be fine. And then lastly is Hyundai and Kia thefts and break-ins. This might be a non-issue with new models, but depending on where you live, you should be careful with Kias and Hyundais because of the large amount of thefts within the last few years. There's a group out there called the Kia Boys who are notorious for stealing, joyriding, and abandoning Kias and Hyundais. I believe they've mostly stolen models that use physical keys. The push-to-start models should be okay, but that doesn't mean that they won't be targeted. Even if the car can't be stolen, you don't want someone breaking in and then having to fix it. So just something to be aware of. Again, for most people, it shouldn't be an issue, but thought I'd just mention it. And then you can just Google Kia Boys and see if there have been any thefts or break-ins in your area. If there are none, then I wouldn't really worry too much. So there you have it. 5 things that I love and 5 things that I hate about the new Hyundai Sonata. Overall, I think it's a really great car. I love the way it looks, and it's packed with a bunch of features. I hope you liked the video, and I'll see you in the next one.